TWM Podcast.
The Revolution is coming this Saturday. It's AEW Revolution this Saturday. It's very, very close, and it's crept up on us because, well, it's never given as much exposure as WWE because WWE is everywhere in the world. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Wars podcast, hosted by the ever trustworthy me. Hello. Alongside me is the Ron Burgundy of wrestling. It's Brad Cassidy.
Oh, well, hello, all of you. And Jeff, I hear you're going to be reviewing AEW Revolution.
I am. So I'm Bagsying the company's Fight TV at some point so I can watch it and then review it. Because I don't think I'll stay up and watch it.
All right, yeah, it shows, though, that, you'll at least have a bit of forward on from the podcast with that, so...
Exactly. It's all fun and games. But this AEW episode was obviously very heavy on the pay-per-view. It's coming up. It's their first one of the year. So they were very focused on that. There was a lot of recaps and coverage, and I think they did a Revolution rundown, I think they called it. It might be something completely different. I might just be making that up. And it was where they went over... it's just Countdown to Revolution. I don't know why I said anything else, because it's always countdown to something, where they sort of went over all of the rivalries. Before we do get into AEW and NXT, we have the admin to get through. Subscribe to us on Stitcher, iTunes, Podcast, Spotify, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube. I've really confused myself. I'm going to start again because I've got a list and I've done it in the wrong order. iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, YouTube, and anywhere else you do get your podcasts. TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the brilliant app for finding your nearest sports bar that are showing the latest WWE pay-per-views and football, rugby, cricket, just any sport in the entire world. They've got over 400 bars across the UK, and it's right at your fingertips with their app, We Love Sport. Download it from the App Store or Google Play Store, whichever phone you do have. Follow them on Twitter at We Love Sport UK and check out their website, welovesport.co. Additionally, we are also sponsored by WrestleCrate. Go over to wrestlecrate.co.uk, use the code TWM Wrestling for your first box to receive a free autographed item. If you do it again and sign up for another month using TWM Wrestling, you get another box with another autographed item in it. If you do it a third time, you get another box with an autographed item in it. So use the code TWM Wrestling at wrestlecrate.co.uk and you get 3 months worth of autographed items. I've got mine, and this month it was a fetching picture of David Starr. I also got Eddie Kingston, the artist's like an artist rendition of Finn Balor, a brilliant poster of Pentagon Jr., a little picture of Edge as well, a DVD, a t-shirt. They are so cool. Definitely recommend going to pick one up. That's wrestlecrate.co.uk. And let's get into NXT. Last night's NXT, we got a follow-up on NXT TakeOver Portland and last week's NXT episode. So obviously Ciampa was in the ring. He had Austin Theory there. He attacked Austin Theory, which set up a singles match between the two of them for last night's NXT. Austin Theory was brilliant in defeat. He did lose to Ciampa after Ciampa hit the Willow's Bell, and the fairy tale ending to pick up the 3. But Theory definitely showed that he has got what it takes to be a Triple H boy, in a sense. Gargano did attack him after the match. What I really like, Brad, is that he had a DIY t-shirt tucked into his jeans.
What, Gargano?
Gargano, yeah. If you watch it back, he comes in, he's got a blue sports blazer on, I don't know why, a white t-shirt, black jeans, and he's just got a t-shirt tucked into it, and you can see the blue of the DIY. It was like when they did like the American looking flag one. I think it was the most recent t-shirt design. He's got it tucked into his jeans, which I think was a pretty nice touch.
It was good, yeah. I'm going to say something about Austin Theory. It's going to be controversial. I think perhaps he's going up a little bit too soon.
I think he's going too quick as well. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just... I could tell potential, but like he's not there yet. I mean, it was an all right match, but like Ciampa carried a lot of it. Like Austin Theory I think he needs a bit more work, and then he'll have a decent run eventually.
I mean, yeah, he's only 22. He's only 22. He's got a long time to develop, but he's a very much Triple H kind of guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I can see. Well, I'd say he's more a Vince guy actually. You look at like Mr. Anderson or other people that
Drew.
Exactly, ruthless aggression era sort of guy. If you've been watching that documentary, that's amazing. But reminds me a lot of sort of the people that was sort of in the mid 2000s on that. So I can see him having a decent place on the main roster. It's just not yet.
No, give him a couple more years in NXT, maybe a North American title run. But yeah, I agree with you. He'll be on the main card within the next 5 years. He did get involved in the beatdown. He distracted Ciampa, which gave Gargano the ability to get on top, hit a super kick, then hit his kneeling super kick. Gargano sat on the apron and slowly clapped, which obviously mocks Ciampa when he claps and pats his back. And I was quite surprised he got a dual chant from the fans of Johnny Wrestling and Johnny Sucks, which I didn't think anyone would chant Johnny Wrestling at him because he turned on Ciampa and everyone loves Ciampa.
But Ciampa turned on him first.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, so, I think he's just returning a favour, isn't he? I don't really think. But to be fair, Gargano as a heel is one of my favourite because he does the delusional heel. He does the heel where he thinks he's a face still, or he thinks the fans still love him, but obviously everyone boos him.
I mean, I can see on this one like rivalry, I can actually see why he would be considered a face. Same way as I can consider Velveteen Dream being considered a heel. So I sympathise with. I actually kind of sympathise with Johnny Gargano a bit during that.
Yeah, fair enough. I really enjoy their matches when they go against each other. So that's all I care about is the work rate and wrestling quality. Obviously, last night we got the return of the Queen of WWE versus the EST of NXT, is how they build it, between Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte did obviously win. I wouldn't have expected any less than Charlotte not winning, but she hit the natural selection, picked up the 3. But the second that she picked up the 3, she went and grabbed a chair, wrapped around Bianca's ankle. Rhea Ripley comes out, she stamps on the chair, and Charlotte hightails it. She runs off. I will say, Hal Richards, one of our TWM crew, the guy, graphics guy, and he does live tweeting and that sort of stuff. I'm sure everyone knows who he is. How he thinks that Bianca Belair is not ready is beyond me. She is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with Bianca Belair, but do you not think that right at the end of that match it felt incredibly rushed? Like, I don't know if you watched it like sort of live.
A little bit, kind of. I can see where you're coming from.
Like it just felt like spear here, move here, lock there. Especially like because it went like 6 minutes over the time it should have done. It was an incredible match though, and I do see Bianca Belair being pushed into a position, but no. I think because that match didn't have enough time, perhaps it didn't seem the best for Belair, but in general, no, she's an incredible talent. I completely agree with you.
Sorry, my phone just started making noise. No, yeah, I completely agree with you. She's just so good. But yeah, I think she rushed ever so slightly. But obviously they got down to what they wanted to, and that was obviously Ripley chasing off Charlotte. We got a nice "You don't go here" chant from the fans, which was quite cool. I am still on the fence if she's going to be added into the NXT Women's Title match. If she does, cool. If she doesn't, cool. There's they announced last night on NXT, William Regal did, that there's going to be a ladder match for the number 1 contendership for the NXT Women's Title. Obviously, Rhea probably won't be defending on NXT TakeOver because she's got Mania, so they probably won't ask her to do double duty, although they did get Cole to do it for Survivor Series. But there's going to be a ladder match. I don't think that any competitors have been announced, but I think what you're hinting at might happen then.
You didn't say direct, but Belair winning the ladder match.
Yeah, I feel like Belair will win the ladder match, unless it just depends on who else is in it. They haven't announced anyone on that, and how many are in it. Because I could see them doing Belair, Dakota, Tegan.
Just feels
Xia Li.
It feels like Belair versus Charlotte is the next logical step. So for me, it feels like Charlotte might win at Mania and then go and face Belair.
I love that Charlotte's now transitioned from cocky, annoying, arrogant heel to I'm going to help everyone else in NXT get over.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah. Which, I mean, that's her personality anyway. Her actual like real person is probably the person that she's playing now in NXT. That's probably how she is backstage. So it's good to see that a bit more on screen.
Yeah, no, it'd be good to see her elevate it, and hopefully she's on NXT a little bit more. One of the questions last week that everyone was asking was what's next. Well, not everyone. It was what Finn Balor's hyping up is what's next for Finn Balor. He was in the ring. He was literally just reeling off all of his accolades. I don't know why. Dominant in Japan, Intercontinental Champion, NXT Champion, Universal Champion, etc., etc. Before he gets cut off by Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel, who attack him for Volta, to send a message from Volta to Finn Balor. That match is going to slap.
Yeah, did you not think when he said I'm not a suck up to the what would you call it, suck up to the management type, that felt really cringy to hear. That felt incredibly cringy to hear. But it's going to be him versus Volta at NXT TakeOver Dublin, isn't it? That's the match that's going to happen.
No, I think it's going to be him versus Devlin. Volta versus Devlin at TakeOver Dublin, and TakeOver Tampa Bay will be Volta versus Balor.
I just think that Finn Balor would be a bigger star in Ireland. Maybe. I don't know though.
Maybe. Yeah, no, I can see that happening. And the Cruiserweight champion, obviously Devlin, will be against someone in the Cruiserweight match in his hometown. I can see either way, the match is going to be incredible. And I would not put it past Finn Balor winning the NXT UK title.
Oh no, definitely that he would elevate that division, because I mean, I don't want to slag it off, but like how many people actually watch NXT? I mean, I watch NXT UK, but how many general people watch NXT UK? Having a big name there would sort of draw more eyeballs towards that product, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We also last night got Cameron Grimes defeating Dominik Dijakovic, which was uninteresting. Damian Priest came out with it looked like a nightstick, and smacked Dijakovic in the back of the leg while he was on the apron. He stumbled into the ring and ran into the cave-in. Obviously, referee was distracted. I feel like now that Cameron Grimes is involved, Dijakovic is obviously hunting for a North American title match again, and now Priest has got involved. Are we just going to get a multi-man at Tampa Bay for the NA title?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can see it going multiple different ways. I can see it going into a tag team as well. Who were those two women that he was with, though? Did you clock onto who they were?
I did not.
He came out with two women, and I've no idea.
Dijakovic?
Yeah. He came out with two women when he went out with the nightstick, and he went back. He went into the crowd with them, and I have no idea who they were.
Oh, do you mean Damian Priest?
I mean Damian Priest. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I have actually no idea. I didn't even realise. I saw him run down the apron, and that was it. I saw him run down the apron. Run down the ramp, and then run into the crowd and disappear.
Yeah, he was with two female accomplices, but I have no idea who they were. But yeah, he attacked Dominik Dijakovic with the nightstick, and yeah, I mean that as a triple threat will be quite impressive.
Oh yeah, it'd be three big men that are very athletic, and then if they make it a fatal four-way, just Cameron Grimes in the corner like waving. Hello. Oh, I'm much smaller than the rest of you. Try and get me to do a cave-in on one of you. Well, I mean, they can do it with Dijakovic. And I think obviously we could get involved with the two men that also had a singles match last night, Killian Dane and Bronson Reed. Damo came out on top, but there are another two men that could easily go into the North American title picture. Damo's had his issues with Priest in the past. Obviously, I think he had some issues with Dunn. Obviously, that don't really matter. But yeah, North American title picture is blown wide open. But yeah, it's pretty insane. Like I said, Killian Dane defeated Bronson Reed in a match of the big boys. Big thick boys, if we're going to go with Bronson Reed's nickname. Saying Dunn, I just noticed they weren't on the show last night. That's disgraceful.
Well, they had a promo package, but other than that, no, they didn't have any anything like that on the show. Do you not like though? That point came to me when I was watching that match. The NXT is more focusing on larger guys now. Now that AEW is trying to get smaller guys.
Well, not AEW. Apparently, Jim Ross has turned around and said that AEW were looking for big, athletic guys, which is one of the reasons why they made the signing that they did, which we'll get into obviously in a little bit. they're apparently looking for bigger athletic guys, and I think it's just Triple H appeasing Vince when he goes for the big guys, because Vince likes big sweaty men.
But they're very good big sweaty men, as King Ross would say.
That's a very fair point. Saying the tag team champions were there, we did get some tag action last night as the Grizzled Young Veterans. Sorry, I'll do it again. I can't do it. Scouse accent. I'm not going to bother. They defeated the Forgotten Sons. The Forgotten Sons were facing this match because they're American.
I like that they gave them a bit of a backstory though, because two of them are Army veterans, and you might not know if you didn't listen to closely.
It's just Wesley Blake that isn't it?
No, yeah, it's just Wesley Blake that wasn't a veteran. But the fact that even Mauro Ranallo drew to it, it's like, 2 out of 3 of these are veterans. So I'm like, to be fair, the Forgotten Sons were very much living up to that name. They were sort of just there. Exactly. But like, if you've given them a bit of something like that, same way they've done with Lacey Evans, if you're giving them something like that, they're going to stand out a lot more.
You're going to get a lot of USA chants during their matches.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But if they do a match over here, like it'll be like the Hearts in Canada, won't it? It'll just be reversed.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fair point. Grizzled Young Veterans are basically just playing the evil foreign heels at the moment, and Zach Gibson should count himself lucky because he has a friend like James Drake, because he saves him constantly. He just does whatever he can to get in the way. Last night, the end of the match, I think, not Blake, not Cutler, the other one. I can't think of his name. No, he's Cutler. No, it's Cutler. I'm thinking of Cutler, not Riker was the final one. I'm thinking of Cutler. I think he was going for like a moonsault or something like that. He was going for a move of some kind. Drake pushes Gibson out the way, and then they hit the ticket to Mayhem. I think that everyone just needs a friend like James Drake.
Oh, definitely, yeah. His own face on his hands.
Yeah, exactly. His scary face when he makes that face. Women's action, we got Xia Li defeating Mia Yim because Mia Yim was distracted after Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez came out to distract her. Xia Li rolls her up, picks up the pin. Raquel Gonzalez runs down to the ring, starts attacking Mia Yim. Xia Li attempts to help, but gets battered. Raquel Gonzalez is just dominating, and I think it's Dakota Kai's doing like a Fiend kind of thing where she's just attacking friends of Tegan Nox. Definitely.
Xia Li is so underrated though.
I don't like her. I really can't get in. I really just don't know why.
Do you not like her kicks? Like, she's just quite incredible. I was watching that. I was like, holy hell! Like, those kicks look so impressive. Give her a title run, but like if you don't like her, I mean we're only going to disagree on this point.
I mean, I can appreciate that she's a good wrestler. She doesn't really have a character. She's just sort of kicky lady. I mean, I was talking about this with a friend of mine on Sunday on the way back from Progress. How a lot of wrestlers nowadays gimmick is good wrestler because they don't have a gimmick themselves. Their gimmick is just good wrestler.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, watch AEW for a lot of... Well, actually, no, that's
there's probably more gimmicks in AEW than there is WWE.
Yeah, that was an unfair comment in fairness. Carry on.
We got two hype packages last night, or 2 little promos. One from Velveteen Dream challenging Roderick Strong to a steel cage match. Probably won't be. I reckon that'll be next week because they've got a steel cage match already between Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, so they might do 2. And we also got the Undisputed Era vowing that they'll be draped in gold once more. It's not going to happen. Cole's going to lose the title at Tampa Bay, and they're going to come out on Raw. It's happening.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
Last night on AEW, we got a weigh-in. For some reason, I don't understand why. Maybe this is going to become an AEW thing for every single big main event we're going to get. But between Jericho and Moxley, we got a weigh-in right at the end of the show. The Inner Circle all came out wearing matching tracksuits that had Painmaker Posse on the back of the jacket, which looked absolutely brilliant. Moxley steps on scales. He weighs in at 231, I think it was. Jericho goes to jump, like, on the scales and start getting weighed, but he starts messing around and sort of floundering and not hurrying up. So Moxley headbutts him and cuts him open, and he needed 7 stitches to close the wound on his face. Obviously, the Inner Circle just absolutely mob Moxley at that point. Dustin Rhodes comes down to even out the numbers in a sense and just goes after, how you go, taking them out into the concourse. Brilliant bit of commentary. Jim Ross says, stay away from the Dippin' Dots. And then you just hear Taz go, and the Bud Light. You can see where the priorities lie. One goes for food, one goes for beer. Jericho, Sammy, Santana, and Ortiz just continue to before Darby Allin attempts to make the save. He takes out one of the members of PMP before when he's about to get in the ring. Sammy Guevara just hits him with an absolutely brutal knee and then snaps the skateboard over his head. Jericho hits the paradigm shift on Moxley onto the glass plinth that the weights were on. Frantic, well, what a finish to the show.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Out of the 2 shows, this one was the far better one for me. It had far greater story. It was structured a lot better. I did not know John Moxley was that big. You know, that's quite a size.
He's put on some mass. He has definitely put on mass over the last year or so.
Well, it's muscle because he's not fat in the slightest. But the actual, like, the weighing stuff, though, I agree with you. I don't actually understand because aren't they both heavyweights? There's no, like, weight limit to the match, so it wouldn't actually matter what weight they came in at.
Yeah, but it's an interesting one. Maybe they just wanted to do it to just look a little bit more not non-wrestling, more
UFC, like UFC.
like sport, not sports entertainment, more actual combat based and that sort of thing. I've just googled it, by the way. 231 pounds is 16.5 stone, so he actually weighs less than I do by half a stone. For all of our British listeners out there that don't do things in stone. But no, yeah, like I say, frantic, mental, but it hypes up. I am so hyped for this main event.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to be like quite a violent main event, especially if he's going in with the eye patch still. And
Jericho with his 7 stitches on his face, right by his nose. Between his eye and nose. No, I think they're real.
Yeah, they are the kayfabe, the real stitches. So he has actually busted himself open. But I imagine that was an accident, but it goes well with the story.
It goes very well with the story that Moxley's not only put on mass in his body, he's put on mass in his head, because that was one brutal headbutt. We obviously had the Iron Man match last night between Kenny Omega and Pac, which went on first. Thinking about it, I thought that was weird, but then you realise it's half an hour. They want to get it out of the way first. Start the show with a bang. Great idea. Omega gets his first point after Pac hits him with a chair shot, obviously getting himself disqualified. Did you know, Brad, that was the first disqualification in AEW history?
Oh, yeah, I did, but only because I've listened to Meltzer. But yeah,
Shivani said it on air.
Oh, right. To be fair, I probably was having comment because, as I said last week, I got between the 2 shows. I was probably listening, but I heard it from Meltzer. I was like, hang on, that is actually the first DQ.
Yeah,
Bruce doesn't have them.
It's mental to think that's the first DQ. Seeing the fact how many matches they have.
Do you think that was a dig at WWE though?
It was a huge dig at WWE. It was massive dig at them. Pac leveled it out with the Black Arrow. Of course he did, because it's a brutal finishing move. Within the last sort of 40 seconds to a minute of the match, Omega was in... I missed out something. I missed out a note. There was a ref bump. So what does everyone do when there's a ref bump? Pac went and got a table, put it outside, put Omega on top of it, and hit a shooting star press from the top rope. Yeah, that's what you do when there's a ref bump.
Also a chair shot to the head earlier in the match as well. So it was brutal. It was fun with the weapons. It was good with the weapons.
No, it did make it good. But yeah, like I said, with about a minute or 4 seconds left on the clock, Omega was trapped in the brutalizer, just looking up at the time. He kept trying to wriggle round, trying to turn it into a pin, trying to get out of it. Pac let go, puts it back on again, and the time expires with the submission on, obviously ending the draw. Pac is furious. He pushes the referee over. He attacks him, and he crumbles into the corner. He's trying to get rounds and sort of sort everything out. Justin Roberts has got a headset on, a little earpiece, and says the match is going to extend into overtime. It comes down to Aubrey Edwards as a replacement referee. She got a massive pop from the fans.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Everyone loves Aubrey. And then Omega won with the one-winged angel, which is still one of the most protected wrestling moves ever. I don't think I've ever seen anyone kick out of it except for Kazuchika Okada. And he's like...
Did you not find it weird how the Young Bucks were there, though?
Kind of, yeah. Obviously, they're still friends with Omega. They're still friends with Omega.
Adam Page wasn't.
Yeah, because Page doesn't like them.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, well, it was late in the show, actually, when they did the well, I'm sure you'll go into it, but when they did the sit-down interview, exactly.
After the match, Pac heads up to the top of the ramp. Up there is Tony Schiavone waiting for a post-match interview. He's talking just about general bits and pieces and out-wanders Orange Cassidy. I don't understand why. He has a stare down with Pac. Pac levels him, and we're getting the Orange Cassidy AEW debut. This is his first match in AEW at Revolution on Saturday against Pac. The match is going to be, Matt said it before we started recording, that it's probably going to be one of the matches of the year because it's going to be comedy but serious but just absolutely brilliant. It's going to be Orange Cassidy pissing around trying to avoid Pac getting annoyed, and it's just going to be so good.
Yeah, but he's going to try.
Oh yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, we're gonna actually see some wrestling. Not. No. I mean, did you not see when the best friends did it at the end? He's like, oh, he's gonna try, and then the crowd said, please don't try. It was, that was one of the best parts of AEW for me. Just that actually made me laugh. AEW can do comedy better than WWE can in a yes, because Vince has a really outdated version of comedy.
Definitely, yeah.
That's why. Speaking of the best friends, last night they defeated the Butcher and the Blade. Basically, this match was brilliant from one aspect, and that was the outside interference aspect of it. Chucky Taylor, or Chucky T, was just getting battered by both members of both Butcher and the Blade for ages. Managed to get the hot tag, gets in Trent Beretta. Everyone sort of disperses to outside of the ring. In the centre of the ring is the Bunny and Orange Cassidy. Cassidy tries to put his hands in his pockets. The Bunny grabs him, stops him, throws him to the side, picks off his sunglasses and puts them on her head, and then tries to kick him in the nuts. He grabs onto her foot, puts it on the floor, pinches the bunny ears off her head, puts them on his, puts his hands in his pockets, avoids a couple of punches from the Bunny, ducks under while the referee's not looking, hits a tope out to the ring and takes out the Butcher, and then the best friends pick up the 1, 2, and 3. I can't remember what their finishing move is called, but it's so good. It's like, what is Adam Page's finisher called?
I was going to say buckshot lariat, but I have no idea about it.
It's not the buckshot. It's the reverse tombstone one that he does.
Oh, I don't know the exact name of that. No, I couldn't.
Basically, it's a reverse tombstone, and then by Trent and Chuck Taylor hits a double stomp onto the back, so a bit of extra force. Well,
but I've just had a word in my ear. It's Strong Zero.
Strong Zero is the finishing move. Thanks to the voices in Brad's head. But yeah, so and it was after that match, as Brad alluded to, that we got the announcement that Pac will be facing Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy had a big smile on his face, and that's where Chucky T said that he's going to try, and everyone's trying to, please don't try it, because it's going to be hilarious. Also, as Brad alluded to, we got a sit-down interview, which was pre-taped and then aired between the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Adam Page, hosted by Jim Ross, who was sort of sat in between. This got heated quickly.
If it wasn't for the Young Bucks, he'd still be a jobber in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, the quote from Nick Jackson, as I've copied it, the internet, it was, "You were a jobber in Ring of Honor. We brought you into the Bullet Club, and look at you now, you're a star." God, Nick, that's harsh words to say to the man. That got to the point where that he got up and left.
He made a point, though, about what I was saying for weeks, though. It's like, do you really need a drink in your hand when you're doing these interviews?
Yes. He's a cowboy. He's a Texan. They always drink. I don't know, actually. But this match is heated. This match is going to be so good. And I cannot wait for Kenny Omega to turn heel and help Young Bucks win. That's why I'm sticking with that.
No, but I mean, Kenny Omega just basically buried his own team. It's like, oh, we won it by accident.
Yeah, he did say he buried his own opponent, saying like, oh, like he was gushing over the Young Bucks, and obviously Young Bucks thing has been, I'm surprised you won it before us. So like in the conversations that obviously Brad and I have had regarding like Velveteen Dream and being the face in that situation, the Young Bucks are meant to be like a face, the more face team here, but they're actually more of a heel. They've been proper dicks to Adam Page. I feel really sorry for him.
That's probably why he's drinking.
He's so upset by the hurtful words from his former tag team partners that he's just he's just been resorted to drinking. We got a bit more ball tickling in regards to Matt Hardy. We had a promo from Evil Uno saying the Exalted One is going to make SCU obsolete. I really want it to be someone really, really random now. I don't want it to be Matt Hardy. I don't want it to be Raven. I just want it to be someone so unbelievably obscure that everyone that's got egg on their face. Like, I want it to be like Tony Khan or something stupid like that. It'd be just so good.
Norman Smiley.
You ripped that off, Cultaholic.
Yeah, I did. What's that?
Yeah, I just really want it to be someone unbelievably random, so weird, and because the big news that obviously Matt Hardy's been offered a deal with NXT or something like that to keep him in WWE. I can't see them giving it to Raven. I think it's going to be Matt Hardy. Like, everything's pointing to it, but I just love for it to be someone really random, because it'd just be hilarious. Last night we got a fatal four-way between four of the members of the women's division: Hikaru Shida, Yuka Sakazaki, Big Swole, and Shanna, with Hikaru Shida coming out on top. Very frantic, fast-paced, and mental wrestling, as most of the women's wrestling in AEW is. We also got a six-man tag match between the Jurassic Express, obviously all three members, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, as Jim Ross continues to elude him as it's just Jungle Boy. Obviously Luchasaurus and Marcus Stunt against Sammy Guevara and both members of PMP, Santana and Ortiz. Sammy is about to use a sock that's got something in it. I think it's baseballs inside to attack, I believe it was Jungle Boy. Before Darby Allin appears, takes it out of his hand, and Jungle Boy obviously takes advantage of it, hits a Hurricane Rana, picks up the win, and then Darby Allin chases them off with the sock-filled baseball, whatever it is, and then has his cue cards, as obviously he's got no voice, that just says coffins will drop at AEW Revolution. We also got a... Go on.
He's just doing it to intimidate Thingy, isn't he?
I don't know, do you think he can talk? I think the storyline is that Sammy injured his voice box or something like that, but it looks more intimidating when he holds the sign up and he just sort of stares down at you.
Oh, I thought he was just doing it because Sammy originally did it when he was asking that woman to marry him on the adverts. He's doing it in like a sinister way.
Oh, maybe. I'm not actually too sure. Either way, it looks badass. It looks really good. I'm still very much on Stunt, but I love Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. That
six-man tag was underrated. I mean,
it was so good.
It was. I actually focused so intently on that because normally it's just like, oh, whatever, they're on. But like for this match, they somehow, I don't know what they did different, but it was far better than what they have. I've also had a thought about AEW as well. They should have a six-man tag championship. It would make sense.
I think that was a rumor of the rumor has been massively that they're going to get a third title. Third? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, third title coming. I think a lot of... sorry, it's obviously got the tag titles. There was either going to be like a Mid-Card title or a six-man tag title. But with Ring of Honor doing it and New Japan doing it, I'm not too sure if that's going to happen. But I'd agree with you. It'd be pretty decent to have that. But then there's only sort of 2 teams of 3 men we've got that could compete for it. So we'd need to get some more faction. Oh, sorry, 3. You've got...
I can name loads. SCU, Dark
4.
Order...
Yeah. I don't know if Dark Order, I suppose. But then, because there's only 4 members of Dark Order.
Shima, T-Hawk, and what's his face?
Shima's part of the Dark Order now, don't forget. He took the mask off Evil Uno.
Oh, yeah, so he did.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
He did. And we also... yeah, exactly. And we also got hype package last night for Cody and MJF. So through what everyone was thinking, Cody was going to mess up his chance to get his hands on MJF last night by getting involved somewhat. There was a lot of people pitching that MJF was going to, beat up Brandy, and then that would send Cody off the edge. But neither of them were actually on the show, so we are 100% getting Cody versus MJF this Saturday at AEW Revolution.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly theme, monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. If you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free item in your first month's box. Then, if you stay for another month, you'll get a second free item. And then, if you stay for a third month, you guessed it, we'll give you a third free item. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for up to free items, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
You said it earlier in the podcast about what was a better show, but I'm still going to ask you now, Brad, what was a better show?
I'm actually going to go for NXT on this one. AEW
Really?
was one, yeah, and AEW was good. I'm not saying it wasn't. It had better matches, but NXT I thought told better storylines, and I'm liking sort of the angles they're having with Tommaso Ciampa and Finn Balor. So it was a very strong toss-up. If you ask me another day of the week, if it's the same show, it's literally a flip of the coin difference. But NXT, I thought, sort of brought more to the table. AEW kind of ignored the fact there was a pay-per-view next week, and just they did incredible matches, but it was just not linked too much to Revolution.
I'm actually for once going to say AEW against my better judgment. Everyone thinks I'm AEW, and the reason why I'm going to say AEW is NXT was good, but there wasn't that much to grip with. Obviously, you had Charlotte and Bianca and Ripley extending what they're doing. The start of Gargano and Ciampa fully. The start of what was the other one I was thinking of? It's disappeared out of my brain. What was the other one I was thinking of? It's just gone out of my brain. Oh, but Walter and Finn Balor. But then with AEW, you've obviously got the Moxley and Jericho stuff. You had the Bucks and Omega and Page stuff. You had Omega and Pac. You got best friends and Butcher and the Blade, which was made out of last week's Battle Royal with the Butcher eliminating Trent and the Bunny kicking Orange Cassidy in the nuts. And yeah, it was just a bit of a continuation. And I really enjoyed the show. Obviously, you got the tease with with Matt Hardy and saying SCU being obsolete, some good women's matches, and the Jurassic Express actually having a really good 6-man tag match, considering the fact that I really don't like Marco Stunt. So I'm going to say AEW, Brad's going to say NXT. We're going to go a tie, but that's life. Obviously,
it's the reverse of how it normally goes.
It is the reverse of how it normally goes. Yeah, it is. And obviously, normally Brad would fill us in with different parts of the news, which is why I call them different news things. We've now changed our mind, and we're going to do that all in one section right now. So over to you, Brad.
Okay, so we're going to start with NXT because that's how we started tonight's podcast. But next week's going to be 2 steel cage matches: Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong, and Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai in 2 steel cage matches. The week after, it won't actually be from Full Sail. There's no matches announced, but it'll be from the Performance Centre because Full Sail are taping some awards show thing that I don't have any clue or interest in, but carry on. And there's a number 1 contender match set for NXT TakeOver Tampa for the Women's Championship. For AEW, we've got an updated AEW top 5 roster. For this was this week, so bear that in mind. You've got the men's, which is number 1 John Moxley, number 2 Cody Rhodes, number 3 Pac, number 4 Kenny Omega, number 5 MJF. Women's division, you've got number 1 Chris Statlander, number 2 Riho, number 3 Hikaru Shida, number 4 Yuka Sakazaki, number 5 Britt Baker. Tag team, you got number 1 the Young Bucks, number 2 SCU, number 3 Dark Order, number 4 Santana and Ortiz, number 5 Best Friends. Next week on AEW, you've got Lance Archer making his debut. He hasn't actually, no other matches are announced because of the pay-per-view, but Pac versus Orange Cassidy is a last-minute match added to that pay-per-view.
Brilliant signing from AEW on deadline day to get Lance Archer in. It'd be great if he makes it at AEW Revolution, maybe as a 6th member of the Inner Circle.
It's actually, it's been confirmed 100% it's next week, and I know that's, I would love it at the pay-per-view though.
Yeah, no, fair enough. There's actually one thing you missed out in news, that Chris Statlander wasn't on the show this week because she's ill, which could put the title match at jeopardy for AEW Revolution, but I'm sure it won't because a lot of people obviously compete when they're ill, even if it's just a cold. But yeah, that's the reason why she wasn't on the show this week. Like we always do with AEW or NXT or any single pay-per-view that comes our way, it's predictions time. Myself and Brad will go one-on-one and predict who will win, basically, each match. And there's nothing on the line, really. It's just a bit of pride between the two of us because neither of us hold a Premonitions title. And I reckon I'm going to ask Matt to get a Wednesday Night Wars title made up just for a joke. But, Brad, I'm going to ask you your winner for every one of the matches. And obviously, we'll deliberate who wins next week. We'll start with the pre-show match that's been announced for SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky versus the Dark Order, represented by Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Who have you got and why?
I've got the Dark Order because I feel like they're going to try and build them as a next threatening sort of legion. They're going to have many members joining them, I think, including Lance Archer, and the actual this will carry on until the Exalted One is named, and that is obviously going to be Matt Hardy.
Fair enough. I'm going to go for the Dark Order as well. I feel like something's going to happen with Christopher Daniels, some way, shape or form. I don't know what it will be, but I feel like Dark Order are still on the rise to be built up. They don't want to stall their momentum until obviously we get the announcement of the Exalted One. Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
I think Pac. I think it'll be a tight match. I think Orange Cassidy will do a lot of comedy, but I think Pac will just have enough snap and just sort of just put him in his submission hold until he passes out.
Fair enough. I agree with you, but I'm going to say Orange Cassidy is going to win because I think Pac will snap and get disqualified and go ballistic and get disqualified. Orange Cassidy's debut match in AEW, I just think that why everyone absolutely adores the guy. Why don't you just give him the win? So I'm going to go Orange Cassidy as the winner for that match. Next, we've got Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander, for the AEW Women's Championship. Brad, who have you got and why?
Well, Nyla Rose, she's the biggest impressive woman on the roster. She's quite new to having the belt, and they're going to try and push her. She's the first transgender person to ever win a championship in a major American promotion. I think they're going to try and just keep that momentum going a bit for her and sort of promote that a bit more, and just try and excel her a bit more on the show. What do you think?
Oh, I completely agree with you. She's only had it about 20 minutes, so we got to give her some time to run with it, to be probably the most dominant women's champion that they're going to have in a very long time. But I think Chris Statlander will be the person that dethrones her 6 to 10 months down the line, maybe 12, something like that. We've got Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. I don't know why I rolled my R there. For I don't know the rights to break someone's voice box. I don't know, Brad. Who've you got and why?
I've got Darby Allin, and that's for the simple fact that I see the rest of the Inner Circle winning that night, and I don't want it to be a clean sweep.
Fair enough. I'm going to go Darby Allin, but I think they're just building him up to just next level. Like, he has got such backing behind him. He's so captivating, brilliant. I'm going to go to Darby Allin, but yeah, just because I think he's absolutely fantastic. And Sammy Guevara doesn't need to win to be a smarmy little dick. Really, we've got Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes in Jake Hager's debut match for AEW. Brad, who have you got and why?
I've got Jake Hager. I think he's going to destroy Dustin Rhodes. I think he's going to come out as a big monster, and that's kind of how they want to position him, as the big heavy. And to have him lose on his debut match would just derail all forms of momentum for that.
Do you think he's going to do the old singlet, or do you reckon he'll do what he does now for MMA and it'll just be like the shorts?
I think he'll just do the MMA shorts because they want him. I think he'll even have gloves on because they want to make him look like a monster.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm going Hager as well. And the final three we may differ on. The next one is Omega and Page versus Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team titles. Brad, who have you got and why?
I think the Young Bucks are going to win because Kenny Omega is going to turn on Adam Page, and he's going to cost him the win. The Young Bucks will literally just walk over and pin him.
Okay, I lied. We aren't going to differ on those because I'm going Young Bucks as well because, they are the face of the company in the tag team division. Page and Omega are going to turn on each other at some point. This makes perfect sense. For one of even if it's that Page that turns and just leaves because Kenny is such good mates with the Bucks, he's just sick of having to be around the pair of them or the three of them, and but then I can't see them pinning Omega in that sense. But yeah, I'm going with Young Bucks as well. Second to last match, MJF versus Cody. Obviously, MJF accompanied by Wardlow, and Cody will no doubtly be accompanied by Brandy and Arn Anderson. Who you going with and why?
MJF. I see Arn Anderson turning on Cody Rhodes as well, and giving MJF the win.
I'm going to go Cody just to be different because we've gone for the same one bar one match. So I'm going to go Cody. I was going to say MJF. He'd literally scrape it by the skin of his teeth and then he could just go, he's beating Cody. But then I also can see them going with Cody winning and shutting up their little smarmy dick. But then MJF having a little tantrum and having a hissy fit and wanting to get another shot at Cody. And either way, it's going to be a great match and a great continuation of their storyline. And finally, which will no doubt be the main event of the evening, Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley for the AEW. Go Jericho?
I am, yes. Indeed. I think Jericho will be, he'll basically surround the ring in sort of a lumberjack type fashion with all the people from the inner circle around him. Jon Moxley will basically try and just fight him. I think that it'll end up being twisted and it'll be changed into a no DQ match and it'll basically be a 4-on-1 assault on Jon Moxley.
Fair enough. I'm actually going to go for Moxley. It feels like a really good time to put him as the world champion. Obviously, Jericho is Jericho. He's an absolute legend of the business, but the amount of momentum and push they've had behind Moxley over the last 6 months is just been brilliant. And I think this is the time to go for it and to put the title in someone else's hands, because they've only had the AEW World title in commission since May 25th, 2019. August 31st, 2019 was the first day that Jericho won it. That's quite a while. That's, what we're saying, 6 or 7 months. I think it's a good time to change the title over to Moxley. So quick rundown of the predictions. Both of us have gone for Dark Order in their match against SCU. Brad has gone for Pac. I've gone for Orange Cassidy. We've both gone for Nyla Rose in her defense against Chris Statlander. We've both gone for Darby Allin against Sammy Guevara. Both gone for Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. Both gone for Young Bucks in the tag title match against Omega and Page. Brad's gone for MJF, I've gone for Cody, and he's gone for Jericho, and I've gone for Moxley in the AEW World Championship match. It's going to be a very good show on Saturday. Make sure you do watch it and head over to our Twitter, because we're doing a giveaway for one of you lucky people to go and be able to win AEW Revolution on Fight TV, courtesy of Fight TV. Go over to TWM Wrestle, at TWM Wrestle on Twitter to get yourself entered into that competition, so you're able to watch AEW Revolution live from. Hold on, where is the show? Where is the show?
From Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois.
Cool. There you go. Brad's got the scoop. But like I say, saying social medias, go over to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TWM Wrestle. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, YouTube, and everywhere you do get your podcast from. Go over to Google Store or Apple Store, whichever one you've got. Download the We Love Sport app to find the closest bars to yourself, which will be showing wrestling events and football and cricket and any other sport you are interested in. That's the We Love Sport app. Go over to their Twitter, We Love Sport UK, and follow them, and their website, welovesport.co. Additionally, go over to wrestlecrate.co.uk. Use the code TWM Wrestling for a free autographed item when you do sign up to your monthly box. Do that for 3 months on a bounce. You get 3 months of autographed items. Additionally, one more, and I promise it's the last thing I've got to speak about, and it's going over to our website at twm.news. I don't know why I said at, to read yourself some wonderful articles. We had a lot of good stuff going out this week. We had 5 things WWE wouldn't tell you about the Ruthless Aggression documentary done by my boy Dan. We had looking back at the road to WrestleMania 28, following on with James doing a little bit of a series on that. We got a review of the Progress chapter 103, which was in attendance for, and it was brilliant. We got some predictions last night for Super Showdown by Sean. Going up today, he's got why the Bella Twins deserve going to WWE Hall of Fame by Shirley. We've also got some previews coming up for the New Japan Cup. I believe been cancelled now because of coronavirus. We've got a Revolution preview by Shalene. And then we've got a Super Showdown review by Victoria, Eddie Kingston article by Paige, and then you've got myself doing an AEW Revolution review on Sunday. Brad, do you have anything going up this week?
I actually don't know, no. But hopefully just look through my sort of name on the website. Look up at Brad Cassidy 170, and yeah, you can see all the archive stuff that I've previously done. Oh
my god, I'm out of breath now saying all of that in that really short period of time. Obviously, Brad's given it Twitter at Brad Cassidy 170. You've got myself at George_Jill_. But until next time, guys, have an awesome one. Enjoy AEW Revolution, and we'll speak to you next week.